What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Success Stories. This is where I bring on people that I've been working with for quite some time just to help you to appreciate and understand what it's like to actually work inside our coaching programs or with me privately. And today is a really, really super special day. And this episode is really special actually because I have someone who has been a part of my journey. Not only one of my clients, but I would call her a friend now, and someone who actually was the first person to join the Superpow Mastermind, which was my 20-week. Actually, when I first started, it was a 6-week program. And after a couple of weeks, I was like, 6 weeks is not long enough to transform your life. You need 20 weeks. And then I changed it. But Sandi was someone who originally saw me on TikTok. She connected with me. I started working with her privately. And then I started the group coaching program, which she joined. So I want to welcome Sandi to the Luke Mind Power podcast. Welcome, Sandi.
Hey, thank you so much for having me here.
Yes, it's fantastic to have you on. And, you're a very powerful person. You're very special as well. And you also joined us at Unlock Your Greatness in Sydney on the 4th of January, 2024. And you spoke in front of everyone, which I thought was absolutely amazing. And it took a lot of courage for you to share your story. But let's go back to when you first saw me on TikTok. Tell us a little bit about your story just before you actually did decide to join and work with me as well.
Wow. Well, going back to it feels like a lifetime ago. So it's actually hard to put myself back into that position again. I was a fraction of who I am today and who I am now. I was a lost soul, just roaming this world, doing what I thought I could and what I thought was right. I was in a very dark place. I didn't realize until I seen your TikTok videos that I actually needed help and I needed someone to guide me along into where I've become, into the person that I am today. In more ways than one, I was in a rock bottom. I was in financial rock bottom. I was in relationship rock bottom. My family, I was in rock bottom. My friendships, I was in rock bottom. Finding you and stumbling across you was the best thing that ever happened to me.
I feel like as you're communicating and talking to us right now that you're actually finding it difficult to kind of even go back there to where you were and what life was like back then, because I see myself as being a bright light, because once upon a time I was pretty dark and lost as well. But it's kind of you were at that place where you were just I can't see. And I came along and you were like, oh my gosh, there's a light there. I need to go closer to that light,
Yeah.
And I mean, give us as much as you can, the best, I know that it's not easy, but give us a little, paint a little picture for us, what life was like at the time when you first saw me. What were you going through? I know you said it was rock bottom.
Depression, anxiety, self-doubt. Oh God, I could name off 1,000 things. I really could. But and you're right, it is hard. It's very hard for me to put myself back into that position because I have come such a great distance since then. That was 2 years ago, 3 years ago now? A long time.
It was around April 2021.
Yeah. So wow. So it's coming up to 3 years ago now. So a lot has happened in that 3 years. But I was drinking a lot. I was probably self-medicating with alcohol. So I was hiding myself behind alcohol. I was on anxiety medication. And that was a very heavy dose of anxiety medication. I was still smoking. I actually realized the other day that you are the one that helped me quit smoking. But I digress. So thank you for another thing as well, helping me quit smoking and alcohol as well, because I did quit my drinking throughout my program as well. But yeah, so I was on anxiety medication, depression medication. I was also taking sleeping tablets because I had a level of insomnia, which is funny because that's how I stumbled across you. You were doing your lives and all your videos, and they were
Yeah, it was 1 o'clock in the morning. I was in my parents' garage.
Yeah, and there I was. I mean, I think you were doing, was it 2-hour lives? The lives went for quite a while. I remember sitting
man,
there.
I was just hammering it. I was at rock bottom in a sense. Like I just lost over $100,000. I had fucking nothing.
Yeah,
So like I was just like I'd post dance videos and then I'd be going live on TikTok at 1 o'clock in the morning. And I like even so many times my mum, I wake up in the morning, she's like, "Wukash, I can hear you in the garage. It's too loud." And I'm like, "Fucking hell."
Hey, look, this is not anything bad at all, but you actually got me to sleep. Listening to your live videos helped me to cure my insomnia as well. Like I'd lay there. I think I even commented sometimes where I'd actually fall asleep and I'm like, I just fell asleep and woke up to your live videos still going. Yeah. You literally were my life back then. It literally was. I wasn't meant to be doing it. Still is.
I wasn't meant to be doing like meditation, but I'm glad that energy kind of gave you some sort of peace to be able to like rest, because I think that's.
Yeah, it was a good thing. It wasn't a bad thing. It was a good thing, helping me to get my rest because I would. I remember there were nights, where I'd actually lay there playing on my phone until 5 o'clock in the morning. And then I had to be back up early. I run my own business. I've had my own business for 10 years now. So even going through what I went through, I had to run a business, and that's with live animals. So running on literal empty was not a good thing. So you getting me or being able to get me to go to sleep in that way was a good thing. It was absolutely a good thing.
Okay, so there's a lot of people listening right now and they're probably like, okay, she was taking anxiety medication, depression medication, she was having insomnia, she was smoking, she was drinking. What were you suppressing? Because you weren't happy, obviously.
No way. I wasn't happy. I was escaping my relationship and I was suppressing me. And that sounds a little bit crazy, but I didn't know how to be me. I've come into an epiphany in the last couple of days where like I know I'm a people pleaser, and I know I was heavily a people pleaser back then as well, but I was also in my relationships a people pleaser too. So even though I knew I was in a bad relationship and I was in a bad place, it's 11:11 by the way here, just had to point that one out.
Follow the signs, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. But yeah, so even though I was in all of that, I was still people pleasing. So I feel like, and this is no offense to my ex, but I stayed because it kept other people happy. I stayed because it kept him somewhat happy. I mean, not entirely. I know he wasn't entirely happy in the relationship either. I was a fraction of who I was. So I was suppressing myself. Yeah, alcohol, cigarettes, there was on the occasion other drugs as well, but it was to hide my life at the time. That's what I was running away from.
Mm-hmm. So joining the Superpow Mastermind, obviously you worked with me privately for, there was a few weeks that we did, coaching sessions together. But then I invited you to join the Superpow Mastermind because I started a group coaching program platform with a community and weekly coaching sessions and a curriculum to follow. How did that change your life? Like what was it in there? Because like I'm sitting here with you right now and I'm listening to you speak, and the way you speak and how you articulate your words and your mental clarity and your confidence and your energy is you're a whole new person. Like I can feel it, And so I'm really interested to know, like, as you went through the program, what was it in the program that helped you? Like what really like helped you evolve or heal?
It's again hard to pinpoint one specific thing. I am going to call out someone. Mandy was a huge help for me. She is another pillar of strength. You more so, because it actually gets me a little bit emotional, but you actually helped me beyond what you offer. I'm not going to go into further details because, respect in there, but you went above and beyond. So it wasn't just what you were offering in the way of your, the 6-week Superpower Mastermind. For me, I think I really can't pinpoint it down to one, but the gratitude is something that has stuck with me since day one. It was probably the hardest thing for me to do because I didn't love myself, and I was suppressing who I am. So for me, the gratitude is probably the thing that stands out the most. The most impactful, there's two. One is going back and reparenting my inner child. That's been a huge pillar of change for me because I've realized that I am that little girl, and I'll never stray away from her ever again. Also, I can't remember what it was called, and I don't know if it's still called the same thing today. But you did a little section where you got us to go through the 7 levels, and you also had like a meditation thing that you did with us where you walked us up those stairs, and it led us into the first time you ever did that was on one of the Facebook lives, and you had me in tears. In absolute tears, and then you did it inside the course as well, and I'm like, well, that's it, I'm going to be in blubbering heap all over a video again. And I was impactful. I think why those things stand out for me is, one, because the inner child in me, like I said, it is who I am today. I'm an adventurer, I'm an explorer, I'm a dancer, performer, singer. I love to do all of those things in my day-to-day life. And a huge part of my life is animals, and that's all the things that I was when I was younger me. And letting all of that come out in my adult ages has showed me that's who I am. I didn't know who I was for a very, very long time, but that's who I am. I'm an adventurer, an animal lover, a singer, a dancer, like not professionally, but just what I love doing. It's part of who I am. What was the other things? That walking up those stairs and doing that meditation that you did with us made me realize how little of a community I have, but how powerful that little community is. That I don't need to have, tens of thousands of friends or, like a big girls group. Like I was always jealous of that. So my sister's got a lot of friends. So for me, and my brother as well, he's also got a lot of friends too. So for me, I used to judge myself when I looked at their friendships and I looked at my friendships. But then when you put us into that thing of like, who's up there speaking for you and what is it that they're saying, the main people that I vision being up there are important to me today. And what they say is meaningful. All those other people, it's not that they don't matter, but their things weren't powerful and impactful and encouraging to what I do today. And then the gratitude, perfect example. And I am going to boast myself a little bit. I climbed Mount Bogong this weekend, just gone, which is the highest mountain in Victoria. Go me. Never would have thought I could possibly do that.
Sandi, you look so healthy, man. Like I remember when you started, like I'm looking at you like on the screen and I'm like, fucking hell, man. Like you look so vibrant and like healthy and happy and yeah, for real, man. And yeah, it's amazing. But what do you tell us? I know you just said you climbed a mountain, but like, what are you doing now? Like, what's the goal? What's the dream? What are you working towards? What are your plans?
I just want to go with the flow with my hiking, my adventuring. Now that I've done Mount Bogong and I conquered that, I want to go and do Mount Kosciuszko. What's the next mountain that I can conquer? Literally. Taking my business to its next level. So
you should start a YouTube channel and vlog your expeditions, man. People would watch that.
I do little snippets. I don't know if you've seen any of my reels, but I do little snippets of me, just my feet. So I'm literally just dipping my toes in and it's just my feet walking across different paths of I did it while I was in Sydney. So I walked barefoot across Sydney. So I was grounding myself there. That's what I called it. And it's just little snippets of my feet going through different walks of the ground. So I have been thinking of doing that, but I'm just sort of dipping my toes in at the minute.
Well, don't take too long.
Hey, well, you've got to warm yourself up to cold water, right?
Yeah, I know.
Well,
yeah, like I'm just saying, like this social media can be scary, but like we don't understand how many people are on social media and like how many people would actually listen to you.
Yeah,
like
would
love to like watch you talk about your life, your journey, the struggles, what you're working through, how you're climbing this mountain, like what's really going on. And like those vlogs are really popular. There's a few people on YouTube. One of them is Kurt Kaz, Kurtcaz, and he travels around everywhere, goes to all these different countries and vlogs everything on the motorbike and this and that. And it's just like you'd never go to these places, but because he's showing it on YouTube, millions of people are watching it, and that's how he makes money, So, it can be a thought and an idea, but if you're passionate about something, man, like all that's required is to buy a vlogging camera and take it with you when you go on these trips that you're having and document it. You know what I mean? Like, again, as the saying goes, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start if you want to be great.
That's true. Yeah. Well, the shameful thing is I actually have a GoPro and I keep telling myself I need to charge it up and take it with
like it's not an accident. It's not an accident.
No, that's true.
But how about this? Have you actually got a YouTube channel?
I don't.
Okay, you got Instagram?
No, I don't. The only social media I'm on is Facebook. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to put your Facebook handle in the description for people so they can follow you or connect with you on there, because I'm sure there's people
watch this space. There's not
where's
there
Sandi?
now, but there will be.
But Sandi, thank you so much for having the courage to share your story, coming and speaking live at Unlock Your Greatness in Sydney. It was amazing to have you on there and being so vulnerable, and you really inspired everybody that was there. But I'm sure that everybody listening right now has also been inspired by you. You're not giving up and sharing what you shared, because I know it's not easy even to share your story. It's uncomfortable,
it's terrifying.
But yeah, it is liberating. So, thank you so much. I really appreciate you, and keep going, because there's still more to come.
No, well, thank you so much. And again, thank you to everyone for listening, especially at Sydney, and, all the praise afterwards. Like, I couldn't be more appreciative of all you guys, and especially you, Luke. 100% gratitude towards you.
You're welcome. We ain't giving up. So, guys, if you are watching right now and you're interested in learning more about if and how we could possibly help you transform your life and help you overcome your challenges that you're dealing with right now, all you need to do is click the link in the description below. We actually are at full capacity in terms of our coaching at the moment, but we do have a waiting list and we do have openings coming up in March. So get in now so that you can put your name down, so that then we can work out if and how we could possibly help you. And if you do qualify, then guess what? Your transformation will be around the corner. So click the link. Book yourself in on a complimentary call with our team, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for joining me on this journey of self-discovery and growth. If you're ready to grow and reach your full potential and find inner peace, send me a DM that says, "I want inner peace," and I'll send you the next steps. You can accomplish anything you set your mind to. When you change your mind, you change your whole life. So don't hesitate and send that DM over to me. Myself and my team can't wait to meet you and witness your transformation in full glory. See you next week.